And then like, I actually would invite people, kids to my house to fight, so I wouldn't get in trouble in school.
You would invite them to your house?
Okay. I see, Don Cox is not here.
I do not see him. Well,
Yes.
this is the resolution.
Oh. Yes, me too. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the Special Committee on Health, Opportunity, Prosperity, and Education to order for Tuesday, March 11th, 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll call?
Chairman Juan Pachado,
Present.
Vice Chairwoman Shelley Peterson,
Present.
Councilor Sue Anderson,
I'm here.
Councilor Justin Roy,
Present.
Councilor Miguel Sanchez,
Present.
5 present, 0 absent, you have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Right before us is the agenda today. Just to let everyone know that item number 3, which going to continue. However, if there's anyone that's present and would like to speak, and they would like to speak now, they could do so. If not, they could wait until we have the hearing at another time, probably about 2 weeks from now. So, is anyone present that would like to speak on? Seeing none, can I have a motion to continue item number 3, the resolution endorsing and urging passage of the general assembly?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Peterson, second by Councilman Sanchez. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously, it has been continued. The second item that I would like to see within this agenda, let's go with item number 1. An ordinance amending chapter 23, street sidewalks and public places, article 1 in general of the Providence Code of Ordinance to add section 2338, camping on public property. Whatever that means to the general public, I hope everyone has read the resolution. But the sponsor is here with us, and that is sponsor Councilman Sanchez. Can you feel like you want to elaborate on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so definitely, I want to give a shout out to our policy staff that's here and also helped on it, did some research. So what this essentially does is prohibits the possibility of issuing tickets, fines to members of the public that are camping on public property. So to be clear, this isn't something that is already happening. I will take a step back and elaborate on what brought this idea forward. So back in the fall of 2024, there was a Supreme Court decision called Grants Pass, I believe. And this allows grants, city of Grants Pass, it's a city out in California or Oregon, I think, versus Johnson. And this was challenged all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court did rule that municipalities can ticket folks that are sleeping in, as blunt as possible. This is a decision that targets unhoused members. So the Supreme Court did decide that it is in their eyes legal. So this kind of started a snowball effect across the country. Want to be very clear that this isn't something that we're doing here in Providence currently, but we are seeing other municipalities like Fall River, West Warwick, Cranston that are starting to, if not already, are doing actions like this. So what this ordinance does is prohibit that, really just to add another extra layer of protection for some of our most vulnerable community members. As you guys are all aware, homelessness is a policy decision. So adding punitive measures like more tickets, more fines, really, in my opinion, and the opinion of people a lot smarter than me, makes it more challenging. Once you get caught up in the court system and you have tickets that are unpaid, then you get warrants, with legal record like that, it's makes it more challenging to get housing. Yep, so this is, like I said, a protective measure for the members of our unhoused community. There was concerns of, does this affect any other enforcement mechanisms, and it really doesn't. One of our colleagues had mentioned, when I got introduced, some concerns about people sleeping at the parks, where there's already an ordinance in place where folks can't be in the parks past 9 p.m. and as my brother would share is enforced already. If someone is loitering on public property, in front of like a Dunkin' Donuts, that's a bill that's enforced already through other laws and ordinances. So yeah, this is specific to people sleeping on public property. Police will still come and ask them to move, but they won't issue a fine or ticket in their discretion. So yeah, I will entertain any comments, concerns, compliments at this time.
Any questions, Councilman Royals?
I fully support this ordinance. I think it's common sense. I think it doesn't change enforcement laws around folks setting up camp in public spaces. I think all this ordinance is saying is that we're not going to fine people out of homelessness. I fully support it. It's, again, fines don't make any sense. It doesn't push folks closer to housing or stability. It actually pushes them further into hardship. So I think this is a great piece of legislation, Councilor Sanchez, and I fully support it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilwoman Peterson?
My question is actually kind of flipped on this, and please try to follow my train of thought on this. I don't disagree with anything you said here. I think we should be leading with some empathy in many cases. My question is more around the public property spaces that we do charge a fee for. So for example, we have a camp somewhere, right? Somewhere down in Narragansett.
Yeah, not something else, but I've been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Does this inhibit the opportunity for somebody to rent that space or utilize that space where we can collect a fee in a moment in the situation where they have the opportunity to do so? Does this actually directly inhibit that opportunity? Because one of the things I certainly don't want to do is in a position where we can do something to be able to obtain extra revenue for the city. I certainly don't want to inhibit, not relating to what's going on in this
Right.
ordinance itself, that's, I don't want there to be some sort of a. Like, I don't want this to be used as a way of somebody saying, hang on a second, actually, you can't charge me XYZ fee for this reason. That's, I hope I'm
Yeah.
making my.
No, that's definitely a great question, and, you know, it's important to bring up any possible, possibility in stuff like this, and maybe sometimes there's unintended consequences. And this did get chatted at some point, and that would mostly be like a rental.
Right.
And not necessarily, fine or a ticket,
Okay. Okay,
if that makes sense.
yeah,
So you apply an application and, you know.
Got it. okay,
And that would be like a
maybe
proactive.
it's fine,
instead of,
okay,
reactionary form of punishment.
understood. That's what I wanted to make sure I didn't, I guess my. Second question, my follow-up question is to actually, well, no, never mind, because I'm sitting here, never mind. I'm good, you answered my question.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? So I have just a clarification. This does, under this ordinance, this doesn't permit anyone to set up camp in any parks currently, under the law that you understand,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
And that the only thing that we're limiting as a city is that while city official or police, they will enter whatever park or open space, that they at least apply the regulations in the sense of removing that individual because they don't belong there during the day or after 9 p.m.
Right.
as an encampment. But they will be restricted and prohibited from providing a ticket.
Right.
And that the city is not, that we are pretty much just prohibiting the collection of those tickets and whatever authority not to provide those tickets.
Right. So, you know, if someone, you know, is taking over City Hall, you know, people can still get a trespass charge. For example.
Yeah.
This is specific to monetary discipline actions. I mean, like I said, I want to be clear that this is not something that we're doing, and I don't foresee it happening under this council and the mayor and our police chief and the conversations I've had. And it's really to, you know, be as proactive as possible for future uses. And, you know, with our national climate right now, we're starting to see more harsh penalties on some of our most vulnerable communities. So definitely just want to add that extra layer of protection.
Thank you. Councilwoman Underwood.
Thank you. Just a comment, or two comments real quick. One, I'm fully supportive of this. I think even though, as you just said, we're already not doing it, it's also important as a signal to the community that we're not doing it and we won't do it. And I know this came up at one of my communities, and people were really happy to know that like this was something we were proactively saying, like, no matter what, even if we have a new police chief, you know, this won't change. So, and Justin already talked about how fines don't make any sense. And then to Councilman Peterson's question, I mean, it's fine the way it is, so we can leave it, but if you just took out the word fee, that might answer the question too, because then they won't be subject to any fines or monetary penalties. But we could charge them a fee if they wanted to camp there, like for funsies, or not as a penalty, but it's probably fine as it is, but like. Here it says fines, fees, and monetary penalties, and just cut it to the word fee. That might be better.
I certainly don't wanna sound.
Yeah, I bet it's fine the way it is, but
Yeah.
just.
You're unhoused.
No,
No, I'm very pro
Gotcha.
addressing this, but if we are worried that then people can't pay to camp at that campsite,
Right.
that's the thing.
And I say that, I mean, that might be the only place that we
Yeah.
have that particular situation at hand, right? So I don't necessarily think.
It might not even be a thing, but if it was, that would be a.
Money.
Yeah, I think, you know, with the possible guidance of our policy team, I personally don't see an issue with removing fee. I don't know if you guys have any.
My comment would be that I don't see it.
Excuse.
Right, yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
No, that was my comment, and then that was just to answer her thought. I was looking at that and I was like, oh, that could be a thing, but yeah, I'm good.
My comment would be. that,
Deputy,
Do you have to share
Chief of
something?
Staff.
Deputy Chief of Staff, Eric Garner.
We just swear on it
Yes.
too.
So
My,
you can lie.
You want to start swearing people in?
my only comment, Chairman, would be that, I agree with everything that was said. I think that if that was to be struck out, it would be clearer, but even as written, I think the intent of the ordinance is clear and it clearly would apply to, fees that we have set up for the use of all our public spaces, et cetera. So I'm indifferent. I think if you were to change it, it's fine, and we can say as is. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
I appreciate
No,
that.
thank you for watching.
Motion.
As it's been, indicated, this has been vetted and also discussed. Unless the city solicitor has any other, comments or opinion on this, there's none. And, so before us is, the appropriate ordinance to amend chapter 23. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second,
There is a motion by, Councilor Underwood, seconded by Councilor Peterson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstention, any nays? That motion carries. Passes to the regular floor. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, probably. Last item on the agenda is, the resolution, sponsored by, Councilman Downcross. And the resolution is requesting to keep Hasbro Incorporated headquarters in Rhode Island. The resolution is before us, and, we want to, I know Councilman Downcross couldn't join us at this time. This, resolution encourages us as a city and as a state, to provide significant, resources, to keep, Hasbro here in the state of Rhode Island. Any, comments and questions?
Yeah, I had a comment, which was, thank you, which is why I was glad it came to committee, because what you just said was a concern I had. Obviously, everyone loves Hasbro. This is not shade at Hasbro, Mr. Potato Head, what a delight, but, provide the necessary support and incentives to make this possible. I have concerns about us committing and writing to a level of resources that we might not know what that is. Like incentives and support to make it possible could be a lot of money because Boston's offering them a lot. So that was just my one concern of like, yeah, let's totally do what we can do to keep them, but let's not write them a blank check.
I love that.
Right. And you're saying that this resolution is not, saying that?
No, I'm worried it is saying that. I'm worried we
Huh?
put in writing that we are willing to provide the necessary support and incentives to make it possible. And if that stays, I'm concerned that we put that. Oh, and Aaron has a comment on my concern.
Deputy, yes?
I was just going to say that, I did speak with Councilman House just a moment ago. And again, he said that he regretted that he's unable to attend, but he highlighted that specifically, and he said he defers to committee members, and if you feel as if that specific line should provide necessary support and incentive, if there's any issue with that, he just encouraged you to cross it out.
Oh, okay.
He said he's amended it.
Okay.
So, any further discussion before, we ask, for amendments to the resolution? Councilwoman Peterson.
I just want to echo what Councilwoman Underwood said. I completely agree with you. It's something that caught my eye as well. It certainly is something that it says, keeping headquarters here in Rhode Island, but not necessarily Providence directly.
Yeah.
To expose us in a potential opportunity for something like that could hinder anything that we, or, whatever it might be, on the horizon for Hasbro, and what we also have to do as a city. So, I agree with you. Thank you for pointing that out.
So, question, Aaron. Making a striking any language,
I believe that.
it's appropriate to do it here in this committee.
Yes,
Can we just
Because
propose an
it has
amendment?
not been,
Okay.
publicized, right?
I think you can verbally speak into the record.
You
and
can,
find
yeah.
the
Move her in a
flow
second.
of the changes that you speak on.
Correct. I just want to make sure that.
Okay.
So is there a motion?
Yeah, can I? make it?
No further discussion on the resolution? Any other,
Yeah, there's-
so that way,
Yeah.
if there is any further discussion or any other consideration, then the motion can be proposed at this time.
Just on the resolution. in
Yes.
general. I definitely, my colleague from East Side trying to, put this forward. I'm being honest, everything I've seen with this, Hasbro has made up their mind and they're gonna be in Boston in the next year, so it's my only comment. Like, they're not even like meeting with state officials anymore at this point, so it's just.
Thank you. Any further comments, questions? Councilor Underwood, are you prepared to make a motion
Oh, yeah,
to
I would
the
motion
resolution?
that we amend this resolution and in the line that begins now, therefore be it resolved. After the word stakeholders, put a period and just strike out everything else, the rest of that sentence.
So your motion is to,
Strike out to provide the necessary support and incentives to make this possible.
So it'd be a
so the
comma
motion,
after stakeholders. So we have and.
Oh, yeah, then it'd be
further-
comma and, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
can you restate that again?
So it'd be,
Language
affirms
should be
its
different.
commitment to working with state and local leaders, businesses and stakeholders, comma, strike out to provide the necessary support and incentives to make this possible. And be it further, and then start again at and, because you need the and.
So, motion is before us, to strike the language that was indicated. So to provide the necessary support and incentives to make this possible. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
The motion has been seconded by Councilor Royas. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is before us. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstention? Any nays? The motion carries. Now on the resolution, as it presented,
As
with the amendment. Is there a motion?
So moved,
As amended.
as amended, so moved as amended.
The motion has been, made to on the resolution as amended by Councilor Royas. Is there a second? Second by Councilor, Peterson. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstention? The ayes have it, the motion carries. That concludes the agenda for today, and I will encourage everyone to keep alert on the next meeting. The only thing that we have before us is going to, as of now, is this resolution that was presented, and we're continuing it. And as you know, that those conversations continue to be had in the administration and all of us. So I think it will be the appropriate time for us to think about it in a couple of weeks.
Is it possible to ask a question at this time?
Yes,
I was actually just wondering if it were a possibility to include the school board as part of this conversation as well.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to make sure that we also receive some of their feedback and commentary on this as it relates to exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
It's part of what their committee is.
so what's the question in terms of to include them as a
Invite
in the communication?
Just invite them,
To present to us?
And, not present, but just, or.
Let them
allow
know
them,
that.
To come and share, this conversation, but also provide some commentary, because this is very much in the purview of what they're supposed to do.
I concur in the sense that all parties, and particularly school board, especially being new,
Yeah,
that they be notified of our agenda is going to be, and as you may know by now, that within this committee, I asked whether it's not listed, that the public is invited to provide testimony or whatever they would like to say. It is my practice that I like to hear from the general public, at least within 2 minutes. So that way, and they're invited to join us.
okay,
And so it's also the general public, once they see the agenda. So you can encourage other members in our wonderful city to come to our meetings at the vote committee.
Just for clear,
Thank you. Councilor Sanchez?
Just for clarity, so are you saying that public comment is allowed at all of our meetings about any agenda item?
It is my practice, yes, and it's up
I
to you.
commend you for that, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I think it's important. We do it at the State House.
Right.
And the way that I practice that is that I'd love to have people submit their letters to the committee. And if they would like to come in and just briefly say it, you know, or have their presence being felt here, we're open to that. I think that this committee is open to receive whatever statement people make, as long as they keep it respectful and also honoring this institution.
Thank you.
Maybe
City Solicitor?
municipal integrity officer.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Wait a minute, you're the city solicitor,
I work at the city solicitor's office.
okay,
I work at the law department. I'm an
Yes.
attorney. I'm licensed in Massachusetts, so I am not a city solicitor for the city of Providence. I'm the municipal integrity officer.
okay.
She's
I
presented
wanna
this
make
before,
sure.
yeah.
The reason
I-
why,
Yes,
because you've sat on other committees,
I do. I sit on about 7 committees.
okay.
Yes.
glad
Thank you.
You have any questions?
I have a suggestion, if you are going to allow public comment, to just add a line item so that members of the public know that they're invited to attend.
Okay.
Yes, that could be also. It is also in these committees, also the right of the chair to actually allow it or not.
Please get on that.
But,
It's,
but you're right,
Suggestion.
absolutely,
thank you for that.
yeah, so. I would recommend that for this committee. Okay, thank you. All right, any further discussion, comments?
Motion to
Seeing
adjourn.
none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved by Councilor Underwood, second by Councilor Peterson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous, meeting adjourned.